Hi everyone. I made this video to explain what would be the process which has to be followed to apply for a child passport who is living in India for a parents who is living in US. So if you are trying to apply the new passport or the passport which you has to be renewal, both got the same process. So you have to get the affidavit form which has to be get the Indian embassy sealed, and those things has to be sent back to the in India, where that document has to be carried along with when you're applying for your child passport. So first you need to get these things done at your Indian embassy. So every state have its Indian embassy, so you have to find what is the Indian embassy location which is existing in your particular state. So I live in California, so the Indian embassy in California is in San Francisco. So when you have to apply for your child passport, you need to get the FDT for your form to be downloaded, and it has to be filled, and it has to be applied in your in Indian embassy. So there's two options. The one option is to go directly visit your Indian embassy. If it's close by your location, then that's the best option, where you don't have to really courier any documents. You can directly visit, and there's no appointment which would be required. So it is more often a first in and first out service. So the other option, if it is very far away from your location, the best option, other option left, is courier all the documents, whatever it is required, along with your original, your passport has to be courier along with the documents, and the documents whatever which would be required, all the photocopies has to be notarized. So again, with the notary, there is there's some banks where there's a free service of a notary which would be available, or else for sure you could get the notary service available in the UPSC services and the postal services, where you could go and get the notary done. But it's the most expensive option, because they're going to charge every copy notary going to cost you $10. So if you have like 4 copies and you have to get the 4 copies notary done, then it's going to cost you $40. So it's a more expensive option. But before we go more detail into the filling of these form details, let's go where do I find these documents to download, and where do I fill this form. So first you need to find out the Indian embassy. You could easily find this in the Google, or this would be the website where you can try figure it out, the document what is required in the search option here as well. Or usually the document what we are looking usually is in the miscellaneous services. So there's different tabs, and there's a consulate services, and whatever the services which we are looking is under the consulate services. Under that there is again a lot of options, but the options what we are looking is under the miscellaneous services. Miscellaneous services, there is there's a lot of forms, but the form or the process what we are looking is for the affidavit for the children's passports to be issued in India. So when you click here, this is a page which comes out, and you have an absolutely very clear details which has to be given, are all given here. So there's an in-person, what all the things which would be required, and what is the time durations. These are all being provided, and the other option is apply by mail. So this is the mailing address where you have to courier, and again the point is to be noted is this is an address of California Indian Embassy, so it's in the San Francisco. But if you are living in the other state, you would have a different address of Indian consulate. So you need to find out the Indian embassy, and then you have to figure it out, that address where you have to courier the documents. Now these are the certain, like, this is a one form where you have to download this form, and the first page have a very clear instructions, what all the things which would be required, and this is the form, and these are the expense, like the fees, what it has to be costing you. Like, so for example, what we are looking here is this option. So it's $20, and there's a $3 of fees for the Indian community. So there's a $23 which you have to make a check for the $23, and you also need these documents back, so that when you get these documents back, you would send these things in the courier to back to India. So you need these documents back, so you would also have a $20 more cents. So these details are already been provided here, so read out these things very carefully and make the checks accordingly to that. So the fees, as I mentioned, like, there would be one fee of $23 and the other fee was $20. So there's the two options. One is the money order, which is the cheapest option, and the other option is cashier check. So if you are going for the cashier check, each cashier check is going to cost you $10. So if you're making two checks, one for the $23 and the $20, if you go to the bank for the cashier check, you're going to cost each check $10. So the total cost, it would be $23, $20, and two checks was going to cost $10. So altogether is going to cost you $63. So once you have this form filled, the other options would be current passport in original, which has to be sent, your original passport to be sent to them, and the photocopy of the first 5 pages and the last 2 pages of your passport, and there's a proof of your visa, US visa, that's your H1B, or if you are dependent, or your H4 or L1, so your visa, along with the copy of I-94. So I-94 would be available in the US portal, where you have to download your I-94, and all these documents has to be attested. Okay, you can send just any of these one document, not all of these documents, just the one of these 4 documents. And for an address proof, again, out of these all options, you can choose just one of things and get the photocopy of that, and then get those attested done, notary done, and then you have to send along. The documents has to be sent along in the courier along with your passport. And the second form what you would download is this form, where you would be filling out your details as well as the child details whom you are applying for your passport in India. So you have to be, those details has to be absolutely accurate, the name and the mother name, father name, what it is going to be on your child passport. Then that's it. So the few other points, since your passport is something what you have couriered to Indian embassy to get this form back, so it is highly recommended not to have any travel plans, and the estimate time to get this document back is 10 days, 10 working days at their end. So say for example, today you're sending, and the post is, your courier has been reached after 5 days, so the count would only start from the day when they receive the documents. So from the day they receive the documents, from there on, for 10 working days, that's the maximum time they would take to look at your documents, process those documents, and send it back to you. So the whole time, it would take about 20 days from the day you sent the documents, and probably would they receive in in a 5 days, or they would take the 10 days time and they would send it back, and it may take in a 5 days more. So altogether the maximum time it could take is 20 days. So plan accordingly. Okay, thanks for watching this video. I hope this help you applying for your child passport. Thank you. Thanks for watching.